Hey everybody, this is Toot the Barber and welcome to the Sports Shop.
I don't know if there's a better feeling right now in the city of Philadelphia when the Philadelphia Eagles are so on point that they just come out and they dominate and they crush. And that's where we are right now, chopping it up in a sports shop. Eytan Shander, Geoff Mosher, Toot the Barber, Musa Master Cuts in the house as well. You know, we're at Forte Hair Salon as we are each and every Friday, chopping it up about everything going on in the world of sports and beyond. And my goodness, fellas. The Eagles come out, they lay another smackdown, this time on the road, so we didn't get to see it up close and personal like we did in Arizona. But right now, let's start with the kid first and foremost, just the feel that we have to see a young quarterback that we know can be as good as anybody in the league. And I'm not talking about Brady and Rodgers and Montana and anybody else that's come before him. He's going to do it his own way. But right now, it's good to know, and it's a good feel that we've got this young kid that we can watch grow and mold like a little piece of clay. I love it, the fact that Carson Wentz has put himself on the map after Thursday night.
He has arrived, right? Ahead of schedule. He's arrived. He's here. He gets blitzed, hit. But what happens? Second quarter, third quarter, starts to figure it out, starts to find the right guys. That's second-level stuff for a guy 22 starts into his career, Eytan.
No, I love
He has arrived.
I love it. And that's the thing, too, because we were talking about this, and Toot brought this up just about the difference of the body language. And you saw it with Cam, right? I mean, you saw that. They were getting to him. They were getting him all game. And by the third quarter, fourth quarter, it was like, man, I don't want to play anymore. You know when you have somebody like that, it doesn't matter if it's one-on-one, if you're playing on the court, if you're playing – if it's 5-on-5, if it's the NFL or down at Pop Warner. But when you have somebody like you've got your guy and you're killing him every time, and you know that right now he's out there, but he doesn't want to be out there. There might not be a better feeling than that. And that was collectively, like we all saw that with Cam on Thursday.
I've definitely seen it. What I liked about Carson, he adjusted to, like you said, to the blitz. Like all game they was getting at him. I thought he was going to fold for a minute, but he got himself together. Took us on that one drive.
That fumble at the first position was like, oh no, this is the game.
But you know, honestly, when that fumble happened, I felt like we was in control of the game still, because we was moving the ball. It just was one mistake. You know what I mean? And I got faith in that defense, that front four, man. That front four is retarded.
Let me ask you, because you cut heads for a lot of NFL athletes, a lot of Eagles, right? NFL. If Cam Newton is sitting in your chair and you're cutting his head, right?
Right.
You're a Philadelphian through and through. You saw the body language that Eytan was talking about. What are you saying to Cam? He has so much talent, but as a quarterback, you can tell that he doesn't have that, like, he doesn't bring everybody together every moment.
No, because I feel like it's about him. As long as he's doing good, his body language is good. As soon as it starts sinking, he gonna sink with the shit.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean? Like, I think his leadership skills, when it comes to that, need to get better. You know what I mean? I would tell him, like, had the right body language. You getting hit, but you can get out of it. But I don't think he have it up here.
Only after he pays for the haircut first.
Exactly.
Though, right? Then you tell him.
Exactly.
Cash money first, up front.
Yep,
That's right.
Straight cash.
There's a difference, and I don't know, because the guy won an MVP, so clearly he's got a skill set that's unique in the NFL. But you're right. There's a difference, and you see that. And Carson's not the only one. It's not like he's unique in his own right as well. But I don't know. How do we feel about this team right now in this city? You know what I mean? Think about that. Like, this is the first time in a long time, 5 years, 6 years, where we can feel good, and not just about on a nightly basis, fellas, but like, whoa, this team can do something.
I think the big thing is that I thought going into the year that we were looking at an 8-8 team, 9 wins at the best, because I don't think the Eagles ever deserved the benefit of the doubt. Howie, Doug, anybody, right? They didn't deserve the benefit of the doubt that they were going to win games that you didn't think that they were going to win. But as we sit here today, 5-1, you know, The only loss is against the best team, the only undefeated team in football right now, and you went in and you gave Kansas City a one-possession game. So they deserve the benefit of the doubt. So when they play these tricky teams like Carolina on the road Thursday night, they're going to play Denver, right? They got that great defense. They're going to play Washington again. They're going to play some teams like Oakland later in the season. And whereas maybe in September we're like, that's an L or we don't know. Now I feel like, you know what? Until they prove that they don't deserve the benefit anymore, they deserve the benefit of the doubt. He's going to cry if they make the Super Bowl. He told me, Musa said.
We get a parade, I'm crying. But really they're showing me what a great team. Everything that they're doing now is building up for the next level. How to finish, how to hold your opponent, how the defense stood tall. We got a field goal kicker. We have X factors on this team that it's championship level.
Look at that. Acknowledging the kicker. Look at where we are.
On every level in that game.
We got a kicker. We're acknowledging the kicker, Musa.
But that's it, though. You're right. I mean, it's such a complete team. And that's what I mean, how we feel about this team, because it's not just on a week-to-week basis. We wake up on Monday, or in the case on today where we're shooting on a Friday after a Thursday night game. But now you start looking down the road, and now you start thinking things that you weren't thinking until Chip Kelly was gone, and even year one of Doug Peterson was over. Now we're back to like Andy Reid, McNabb thoughts. Now we're right. I mean, we're back to like close to the end before McNabb gets traded thoughts. Like, man, this Eagles team might be special. And it might not happen this year, but you know that you're in the mix.
Like whenever they show up, you think they got a shot to win.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Because we got a top-notch quarterback. I ain't even going front.
Doesn't it seem like it's not a fluke?
No. What?
See, that we've had flukes, though, right? Like Nick Foles, 27-2. We loved it, but at the end of the year, we're like, that can't happen again, right? And it didn't. Exactly. Something felt flukish about that. And let's be honest, 3-0 last year. Something felt a little fluky. Yeah, not to everybody, but I know.
Listen, I was jumping in it because I wanted something to believe in.
Right. You know? But I think this year it's more natural.
Came off of Chip Kelly 2 years and 3 quarters.
You wanted the life preserver, please.
I saw a little bit of light. I'm like, man, I'll grab onto that and hold on to it. But you're right, 3-0.
It's natural, right? It feels like outside of the 61-yard field goal, it feels like everything that the Eagles have done, it's not a favorable break or a bounce of the ball. It feels like natural. Like they control the ball. They control time of possession. They don't turn the ball over very much. They play very sound on special teams. They play sound on defense. It's not like, let's talk about the Cowboys last year. They got every single break possible, right? Exactly. I feel like, outside of a 61-yard field goal that you don't hit every day, everything else just seems natural with the team, with their development.
Right. That's a big difference of it, too. I mean, you think now, moving forward. And two, you're right, as far as Carson Wentz is concerned, every single time you're out there, no matter who's hurt, Fletcher Cox is a game-time decision. You don't know what type of really performance you're going to get going in, but you still feel the same because Carson. As long as Carson is healthy, it's like no matter what. So now you start to think, all right, this team needs to continue to be built and everything moving forward, but the buzz right now is just, it's been so long, I think, since people wake up and think to themselves, this Eagles team is special. And good. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
You don't need to start talking Super Bowl without, and putting aside how you feel and feel bad that you feel good about this team.
Right.
You don't need to be talking about that.
I talk about this a lot. It's like sometimes we get in that mentality when good things happen, we're like, oh, man, do we deserve this? I can't believe. But you know what? Of course, when you go with the Sixers, with the Phillies, what they're going through, and then to get a guy like Reese Hoskins, to get a guy like Wentz, that's what all the struggle was for. It's not fortunate. You deserve that when you go through years and years of whether it's just being bad accidentally or in the Sixers case tanking. You deserve it.
Philadelphia fans are super passionate, and it's been a while since we had a winning team like this. Like, we're winning that, and we're going to ride it to the playoffs. We're going to ride it out. But I definitely feel as though with a little bit more preparation, we can take on anybody on the other side of the field. No matter what your jersey is, a Patriot, a Packer, Aaron Rodgers, a Brady.
Moot talking heavy.
Proven to himself that it doesn't matter. He's in the league now. So
right.
You can't just look at him as, oh, you're a rookie. He's competing on the same level as every other quarterback. So, I mean, I got all confidence in him. I think more people.
I love it. No, and I'm with you. And I think that's kind of how you really feel now moving forward. It doesn't matter how you felt about the team, drafting Wentz and all these moves that they made leading up to it. You're right. I mean, you feel that you've got a franchise quarterback, and that really sets everything up. And that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah. I kind of feel like a Packers fan would feel.
Yes.
I'm getting that feeling like
Yes.
I got Aaron.
Yes.
I got Aaron. You know what I mean? I can say I got Wentz. I can say it openly. I got Carson Wentz because he's proving it every week. Now, let's not get too carried away.
Yeah, but hold on a second, right? I mean, and I don't need to call anybody out by name, Rodney, but, like we had a Cowboys fan who was here last time.
Right.
But think about that. That's the only argument we got now, because normally what they do, they shut us down with Super Bowls. But how many people that are making that argument were even alive the last time that they were winning consistently, or able to formulate thoughts about the game, the early 90s.
Yeah.
So now it's like, all right, well, we got a quarterback. Because, the Cowboys fans will boast Dak, but Eli or Kirk won't even be in the division next year anyway, Kansas City. So that's the argument now.
Right.
And it's not even in the NFC East, too. You're right. It's like, we got a quarterback. You can start that argument every single time. All right, well, who are you running with?
Yep.
Luck?
Exactly.
Is that guy he's even healthy?
Dude, what was it like?
He needs a rib transplant.
What was it like in here all week? Just the enthusiasm for this game. Like the people, the heads that you're cutting, like.
Oh, they was hyped for it.
Compared to like years past, it's got to be so much more.
It kind of remind me of like 2004, 2003, like when the Eagles was good. That's what it reminded me of.
You
But
said 2004, man.
No, I said that on purpose. But that's the feel though. It feel like everybody's excited for them to win, and then it's other people that like other teams that don't believe it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But they excited also. Like I have a Cowboys fan, a friend that's a Cowboys fan. He texted me last night and was like, "Yo, y'all legit. This was the game that let me know that y'all really legit." You know what I mean? So he's a
Cowboys
real Cowboys
fan came forward
That's
and said
giving
it.
up. But so how can you not after that? How can you
Some
not
of them
come to
don't
that
give us
conclusion?
props, though. Like,
No, that's what it is.
Yeah, because they know what's going to happen.
Right, they
It's
know.
like, once they open up the door, we won't stop. Because then you got to send a text back like, yo, did you see what he did?
Right,
You see
right,
Carson
right.
lower the shoulder, take on Mike Adams. You see all these little things that happen. But you look at this on the big stage, and Carson is this big draw now in the NFL. And you're right. I can't even imagine what the buzz will be like if they continue to win and Carson continues to grow every week.
Right.
I mean, every week it's going to be like, all right, we win. You could do the schedule game. Doesn't matter if you're in the shop, if you're on the radio. Every year you're going to do the schedule game like, all right, is Carson healthy? Is Carson healthy? That's a win.
Right.
That's a win.
Right.
And then
That
every
is
year
Green
you
Bay. That is
recalibrate.
what they do up in
Bay.
Green Bay.
That is.
That's Green Bay. That's the Patriots. You might even say that's Matt Ryan. You know what I mean? Like they had franchise quarterbacks. So Drew Brees, when they were in their heyday, you could just be like, oh, he's gonna win this one before the schedule come up. So to have that comfort to be able to stay here and say like, I know we gonna win this game. I know we gonna win that game. I'm talking about years to come.
Right.
Like this year, they could sneak up on some people. You know what I mean? People do take them lightly. Because they don't believe them.
All right, so here's the question. As we're chilling at the sports shop right here, chopping it up at the shop, Forte Hair Salon, Broad and Stenton, Toot the Barber, Geoff Mosher, Eytan Shander. Real quick, because I do want to touch on this big news that's going on with the monster, the prodigy. I don't even think he's a human being in Joel Embiid. But, Toot, how long before, because we have a full week before that Monday night game with the Skins. So how long do you think before somebody starts coming into the shop and talking Super Bowl? Super Bowl. Not like the Eagles team are legit. I'm not worried about Cowboys fans. I'm just saying, as far as that conversation this week.
He's got a 2:00 appointment, so probably right around there.
I mean, he, like you know how we is here in Philadelphia. We get antsy. They starting to talk about it already. Already.
So before we even shot, that conversation was going on.
Yeah.
See, that's what I love, Moshe.
Right.
Yeah. People was like, I think we can make it.
Good. I have no problem with that
I don't
whatsoever.
either.
There's nothing better in sports than a build-up, I think. Like,
Right.
it sucks when you're losing for a long time, but the build-up is, like, the 93 Phillies were awesome, but nobody saw it coming, and then it was done as fast as it was here.
Right.
But we knew a build-up was coming with the Eagles, probably not this fast, and now we got one with the Sixers at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's another thing, too. I can't believe that, and again, everybody's in different areas, so we come into contact with people on the radio, be it at the shop, what have you, and actually looking at the Embiid deal and having a problem with it. Like, I can't compute that. That doesn't work in my head.
you know, he proved why he's worth that money.
31 games he proved it.
No, I'm talking about the day after he
Oh,
signed
right.
or today. He proved why he's worth that money, even though it was a preseason game.
Yeah.
But he going to dominate every night on the court. He might be the best player every night on the court, opposed to LeBron, Kevin Durant. But he's going to be the most dominant player on the court every night, in and out. You know what I mean? All you got to do is stay healthy and play the games. Now, that's
all.
That's all.
Yeah, but think about that. He's doing it think about the productivity and how little amount of minutes he's playing. He's basically out there, and I know preseason limited some, but he's out there 22, 25 minutes. So even if it's not about limiting him because of health, foul trouble,
Right.
whatever it might be, the fact that he's on a back-to-back, so maybe you just don't want to play him the full 30, 35, whatever it may. You still know that if he's out there 25 minutes, you're going to get what would be another Biggs like 33,
Right.
34 minutes,
Right.
which is insane.
It's like he's scoring a point a minute. Every
Yeah,
time
yeah,
he
or
out
even
there.
better.
Yeah, every time he out there. Like, I was watching the preseason game, I was just like, yo, I don't need to watch this no more, because if you put a big man on him, he gonna take him outside. Put a little guy on him, he gonna dream shake him. You see the Dirk Nowitzki, like it looked like he watched everybody that he want to play like, and he could emulate them on the court. Like, you see Hakeem Olajuwon, you see him do dirt, you see him shoot threes, you see him put it on the floor, see him block shots. He's doing everything. Somebody brought up, they said the reason why he didn't play early was because he was waiting for his contract. You know, he didn't want a chance losing his money. So I don't know. But I'm excited about the Sixers, and I'm excited about the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about the Phillies, though. I'm kind of excited about
Yeah,
the Phillies,
that's
too.
coming.
mean,
I know,
coming.
and that's in the back, and I'm not going to knock that by any means. I think, though, that you've got – here's the thing. You've got Joel Embiid, and this is crazy, right, because you've got three athletes right now that are going to be in the forefront of the winter and the discussion on a daily basis. It's Carson Wentz, Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons. But Wentz and Simmons are similar.
Right.
Like, they're not in your face. They're more reserved. They're all business.
Right.
It's, working out, getting better, and all. Joel is doing his thing too, don't get me wrong, but it's a different type of stardom.
Right.
It's a different type of fandom. He's all over the place.
Right.
You could see him running down the street playing tennis. NBA is going to put him all over the place.
Yeah.
But think about that. At any given night, you could have one, if not two, of the top 3 or 4 players on the court. You could have maybe, depending on who you go up against, the best football player on the field
Exactly.
with Carson Wentz. We just haven't had that in so long.
It's great. It's finally here, so we got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't mind people talking Embiid could be an MVP. I don't mind people talking Carson Wentz could be an MVP. Because you haven't had that in so long. It's like, have your fun.
Yes.
They both about to be the poster boys of each league, I think.
How
The-
far
the
away
Phoenix.
were you, from that? Carson's going to be a little bit more difficult because even with Aaron Rodgers around, it's going to be tough. Like Brady's at 40, right?
Yeah.
And he's still a face of the league. So my point is, as great as Aaron Rodgers is, he's still not the quote,
The quote
because people go to Brady. So
Right.
there's still somebody taken away from
Right.
him. Now,
But
I wonder if that's with Wentz.
No, I think Wentz could take it over. I really do.
Wentz he's in the conversation
He's in the
now. He's not ready to
conversation
do
with
it. But I can see Joel, as
See.
long as he stays healthy, being an MVP in this league.
Yeah, I
First
can
of all,
see
because in
that.
the NBA, the best player never wins MVP anyway, right?
no.
LeBron should be MVP every
Every
year.
year.
He doesn't
Technically.
get it. So it's always that player on the come up, or that player that you didn't think was going to have the MVP year.
Yeah, and Ben Simmons, it's going to be held against him, not what I believe to be, but just what I think is going to happen is Ben Simmons won't score as many points as Embiid, and that's going to be used as a knock on an MVP because they're always going to look at a score.
Right.
Or you're going to have to be like a tremendous two-way player, but even like Kawhi
Right.
is only in that discussion because he's scoring a lot as well as being a great two-way.
But
Embiid could be an MVP candidate this year.
yeah, he could be. But I think Ben could be in there, though. I think he's going to make Embiid better. And
I got to see him hit a jumper first, man.
Oh, you don't like that?
No, I'm just saying, I got to
It's
see
not
him.
as bad as
I'll put
Fultz's
him in
jumper.
Rookie of the Year candidacy, but I'll put Joel in MVP
Oh, yeah,
candidacy.
yeah.
You know?
But Ben athletic, too. So
Oh, very.
he do a lot of things around the basket that the average person can't do. And sometimes MVP is one off a flash player, like a flashy player. Like, look, for instance, when Derrick Rose won it over LeBron James.
yeah.
He wasn't a flat-out MVP. It's just that he was flashier with the basketball around the basket.
Right.
He was like doing that, dunking on people, and he's about 6'4". So, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's about the flash. People get caught up on the eye, like, oh, all right, I'm not paying attention to, like, the real game.
All right, final thoughts as we wind down here at Chopping It Up, Sports Shop, Forte Hair Salon, Broad and Stenton, Toot the Barber, Geoff Mosher, Eytan Shander. On a 0, like, man, that was the wackest I ever heard, to 10, like, that was the strongest verse I ever heard. Quick, just your rating and quick skinny on M's verse on Trump.
10.
10, okay. like best you ever heard?
I ain't gonna say.
Yeah.
But for this time, it's a 10. But overall, I'll give him a 9.
Okay.
A 9.
I'm gonna be a little bit more harsh because as Toot and I were saying, you know, if
You don't need to go Keith Olbermann and be
Chuck
like, it was
D
the best
would've
thing I
done
ever
it,
heard.
or you know, if it was something like KRS-One would have
Right,
done it,
right.
probably would have been even better. So I'd give him a 7.
I'll meet y'all halfway. I'll give it an 8.
8.
It wasn't a freestyle. We all admit that.
That was not a freestyle.
I'll give it an 8.
Give it an 8. Yeah.
Stop
Moose
calling
gives
it
it an
a
8.
damn freestyle,
It's
man.
not a freestyle.
He wrote that.
Yeah, everything.
That was a term paper.
I think Thought might be the only one freestyling left, man, at this point.
Black Thought.
Right?
Maybe Mos Def.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Most of
If
that.
we
back in
can
the
find
country?
them.
I'm saying, but
Back in the day, yeah.
freestyle.
I'm just saying, like, now, like,
Kendrick.
still
I
around.
think Kendrick is still freestyle. I
Yeah,
don't
off the
think he
dome?
do it a lot.
Okay. All right, we're going to be back. We got a lot to regroup and chat about coming up on the next week. Live at Forte Hair Salon each and every Friday. It's the Sports Shop. All the same. Sports Shop.